Hey Joe fans, I'm JoeFan82 here with the top 5 figures that I want to see in the G.I. Joe Retro Series line. This is not including any Cobra figures. I'm going to make a separate video for Cobra. So these are only going to be members of G.I. Joe. And this list is comprised of figures that I personally would like to see, not necessarily what I think are likely to be made or even have a possibility of being made. I have no inside knowledge. Unfortunately, I have no idea what the plan is for this line. So these are just figures that I'd like to see get made in this line. So here we go. In order, number 5 is CoverGirl. We never saw a direct retail release for CoverGirl in the 25th anniversary. We didn't see her until the Collectors Club made a figure of her, which was an exclusive figure. Not everybody was able to get one. So this is a character I think is prime for a wider release to be available to more people. And I believe she could take advantage of this new face sculpting that they're doing. We saw with Scarlet, which I think is a fantastic face sculpt. You can check out my review for her to see that. But number 5 is CoverGirl. I think a lot of people would be interested in that. Number 4 is Arctic figures. I want to see Arctic figures. And I don't just mean Snow Job or Frostbite. I mean Arctic versions of characters that we haven't seen in an Arctic attire, like Arctic Roadblock, Arctic Lady J. I don't care if it's a Sunbow brown coat or a Pursuit of Cobra style Arctic getup, whatever it is. I'd like to see an Arctic version. I like to see figures in the different environments, even if it's not their specialty. So I don't want to see Snow Job in the jungle, but you're gonna see figures like Duke, Roadblock, Scarlet going on a mission in the Arctic or in the jungle or something like we've seen in the comic and in the cartoon. So I would like to see Arctic versions of those figures. But that's me. I don't know if you guys feel the same. But yeah, Arctic, jungle, desert. I like all the environment type of figures. But Arctic is probably my favorite. I live in South Florida where it's hot 9 months out of the year. So Arctic winter snow stuff is very foreign to me. And I don't know, I have a high level of respect for those that are able to withstand that environment. And I just have always had an affinity for the Arctic figures. So that's my number 4. Number 3 is Shipwreck. We did see a single card release in the modern era in the 25th anniversary and then also in a comic 2-pack, but I think we are due for a new updated classic sailor uniform, sailor hat version of Shipwreck with the new sculpting. There's been leaps and bounds in the way figures are sculpted between the 25th anniversary and how they are now. So I would love to see a new updated Shipwreck. I cheated a little bit with my number 2 pick because I didn't go with one figure. I went with a team of figures, and not just one team, 2 teams. My 2 favorite teams from the 90s, Ninja Force and Eco Warriors. I think we are due for either some re-releases of what they've already done before. I think they've done almost all, if not all, of both of those teams at some point in the modern era, either in a club exclusive or a JoeCon exclusive or something. But either a re-release of those or an updated look for those repaints for those figures could be, it sounds silly to say Night Force, Ninja Force, but a toned down, darker color palette for the Ninja Force figures I think would be welcome. They are ninjas, so I think that could work. And kind of a similar thing with Eco Warriors. Take those neon colors, dial it way back. Now, I would love to I don't have all those modern versions that they did release, so I would love to see re-releases of those. But if they do new updated figures with darker colors I would be all for that. So that's my number 2. And my number 1 pick for a G.I. Joe figure in the retro line is a newish character. She's been around a few years. She is well known, I think, for a lot of Joe fans. She has never had an official figure before, and it is Dawn Moreno. She premiered several years ago in Larry Hama's G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero in the IDW comics. I like her. I like the character, and I would love to see her in action figure form. I think it's time. I think we're past due of seeing her in figure form, and I would also like to see her not only in the retro line but also in the classified line. I think it's not too big of a stretch to think that we could see her eventually in both of those lines. Since we got brand new tooling for the Cobra Pilot figure, I think it's okay of me to think that they might possibly do some new tooling for other figures as well, and Dawn Moreno is a perfect choice. I think it would appeal to a lot of fans looking for a Dawn Moreno figure. So those are my top G.I. Joe figures that I'd like to see in the retro line. Now this is kind of fluid. If you ask me the same question next week, some figures might be in different places in the order, or some might be switched with other ones. But as of now, that's my list. Let me know what you think about my list in the comments, and also what figures do you want to see in the retro line? Would you prefer to see re-releases of past figures that have either been unavailable or you missed out on, or would you like to see totally new stuff that we haven't seen before? Let me know in the comments. And stay tuned for my next video, which will be my top 5 Cobra figures that I want to see in the retro line. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.